Hello, I am going to do a short informational presentation on China. My name is Marcos Montes. Um, for the first slide, I'd like to go over the overview of China. China has a lot of requirements to enter the country. You need to require a visa that has 6 months left on it before entering the country. You also need to keep up with your vaccinations there. And also you need to make a deposit for any future treatment that you need in China. China has the largest population in the world. It's at 1,379,000,000 people. China is our number one country that we do trade with. They are lead in manufacturing. China is ranked number 2 in the largest economy, however. But Goldman Sachs says there's an article that states that U.S. will not hold the top spot and they'll be knocked off by 2027, which is in 2 decades, they will be the powerhouse of the global economy. The main language there is Mandarin. There's many dialects of Mandarin, however, there's some common sayings. Ni hao ma, which means how are you, and another would be shi, which would mean thank you. The currency there is yuan. You can get it at an ATM or a bank, and the conversion is at a 6.5 conversion. And that concludes my overview of China. And the next slide would be meeting etiquette. For meeting etiquette, it's considered rude to eat the entire plate at a business meeting. There will be multiple platters presented at a business meeting, and you have to be able to pace yourself to be able to eat every item, because if you eat too much prior, it will look offensive that you can't finish the rest of the meal. Nextly, it is traditional to be early at a meeting. This is simple, that you can be there up to an hour, 30 minutes before the meeting. This just shows how much the meeting means to you and how much you want to do business with this company. The Chinese people really appreciate business cards. However, it's a small gesture. It could impact you greatly with a company. The way to pass a business card is using 2 hands, then passing it and waiting for the opposite person to give you the reciprocate greeting card. It's good to have a translation on the business card. Also, it would be good to print it in gold, which would show wealth and prosperity. The colors there in China are very significant, so that would also help. Nextly, the clothes are appropriate for these meetings are for a formal attire, suit and tie. For women, it is large dresses with flat shoes. The Chinese people, however, they don't find extravagant wealth that appealing when it comes to a meeting. In terms of your apparel, they would find it offensive that you are boasting yourself by what you are wearing. Put a substantial amount of time to the presentation. They really do appreciate the effort you put in any situation. However, especially in the business world, you want to be able to answer any questions or be in depth with any topics. For your presentation to be more rich. And that concludes my presentation, my slideshow on meeting etiquette. My next slide will be negotiations. Make sure to have different options instead of one. Companies will try to find your weak points in China, and they'll try to find if you're only doing business with one person. They could use this to their advantage and manipulate the price, or make you make a decision where you don't feel completely confident on it. So it's good to try to make sure you're discreet about that. Also, negotiations in China last a very long time, from days to months. So it's good to keep notes on every meeting. So by the time the final negotiation occurs, you'll have a more stronger decision-making process. Nextly, do not make a fictional deadline. They will find it offensive that you would approach them with a meeting and then try to make a deadline, which will make them try to make a decision quicker. This will be offended. They will take it offended that you wouldn't even want to spend a lot of time with them, and that will be a big issue. Don't be insulting if you decline an offer. They might try to come with a proposal, and you might not be able to accept it. However, it's crucial that you explain the reasoning why you can't accept it, because it will show like you're more might want to do business with them for from your company for future uses. And lastly, understand their subtle phrases, especially when they're trying to decline your offer. They might say something like, "Let's discuss. We need to discuss this for a second, or we have to think about it." That just might mean that they're trying to decline your proposal, but in a polite way. So just try to learn from that and transition to conversation to maybe a different point. That will conclude my negotiation slide. Nextly, we have social aspects. Don't start to eat until the host of the meeting has started eating. The people in China, they are very hierarchical, which means that they like whoever the host is to eat first for you to show your respect to them by you waiting until they start eating their meal. Nextly, the host of the business dinner will pay for the entire cost of the meal, so don't try to transition or add or insert a statement saying that you'll pay for your portion of the meal. That will be presented or perceived as insulting to the Chinese people because it can imply that you don't think they can pay for or afford their food. So it's best to stay away from that. Make sure to show proper respect to someone older or higher in rank of authority. If they have a higher title than you, make sure to appropriately present that title while speaking. And also, if someone's older than you, make sure to show the proper respect because there it's very, very important. And then that will conclude my slide on social aspects. Lastly, I have other considerations. To present gifts properly, you have to be able to present it with two hands directly to them while at eye contact. This will show how much it means to the gift and how much time they put into it. And lastly, if presented a compliment, do not accept it. That's just something that they will take as boasting as well. So if you are just trying to transition to the conversation where you don't accept that compliment. And then my last slide is my bibliography showing my resources. I have TripAdvisor, allbusiness.com, Forbes.com, Yo-Yo Chinese, and Etiquette in China. And that concludes my presentation. My name is Marcos Montes. Thank you.